discuss two-dimensional arrays. A two-dimensional array is something which looks like this, where the elements are organized into rows and columns. The first row would be addressed as row 0, the second one as row 1, and the last one as row 2. On similar lines, the first column would be addressed as column 0, the second one as column 1, and the last one as column 2. In total, if you would like to address the first element in the table, the one which is found out at the first row and the first column, it is seen to be indexed at 0th row and 0th location. The second element in the first row would be addressed as belonging to the 0th row still and belonging to the first column. The last element in the row 0 would be addressed as 0 and 2. That is the element in the first row and the last column. The second row would be addressed as 1. The third row would be addressed on 2 on similar lines. This is how the initialization of a 2D array would look like. You have the data type, the name of the array, and now you have a pair of square brackets which intend to specify the total rows and the total columns. So here table is taken to be an integer a two-dimensional array which is seen to be consisting of 2 rows and 3 columns. The first 3 elements of the first row are initialized to 0, while the second row has all of its elements initialized to 1. The alternate way of doing the same thing would be as specified below. When you have a set of values enclosed within a pair of flower vases, it indicates the values to be there for a particular row. So 0, 0, 0 goes into the first row, 1, 1, 1 goes to the second row. So yet another way of showing the same, you could as well show the same thing in the next line. It is very much same as the previous one. In the case shown here, we have not specified the total number of rows. However, the number of columns are specified. It is okay that you can skip the number of rows as long as you specify all the elements of the row. So there are 3 columns for each row, but the total number of rows are missing. Further, in this case, there are 2 rows and 3 columns. The first 2 elements of the first row would be initialized to 1. The other one would be initialized to 0. In the second row, the first element is initialized to 2, while the rest of them would be initialized to 0. When all the elements are initialized to 0, yet another way of doing the same would be as follows. The first row, all elements initialized to 0. Second row, all elements initialized to 0, and the last row, all elements initialized to 0. Yet another alternate way of doing the same would be as follows. If you simply say 2 elements here, this would also do the same. So this is to talk about the memory layout of a two-dimensional array. So this would be addressed as the row at 0, column 0, row at 0, column 1, row at 0, and column 2. This is a 3 cross 3 array as it has 3 rows and 3 columns.